What's going on, world? What's going on? It's your main man, the author. Right back at that ass again. Here's another one. Just want to make this brief video, man. I think I'm gonna entitle this video "Black Women Will Get You Fired," and then we'll turn around and call you an asshole for losing your job, man. Black women will get you fired and then criticize you for losing your job, man. Sorry about those Facebook posts. Every time somebody sends something, I get a notification. I might want to turn that off. But anyway, man, yeah, man, that's the real truth, man. I was on the job the other day, man. Black woman told me, I had this situation where customer gave a check but didn't pay the amount on the check, but instead decided to write a check for her own amount, which was 80 cents shorter than the amount that was due on the check. I assumed she paid the amount that was due on the check, but I made a mistake, so I was 80 cents short on my drawer. And talking to this black female, man, she was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, she had been there a little longer than me with the company. I said, so, well, what should I do? Oh, well, you can let them know about it, or you can go ahead and key in 80 cents, but make sure you watch out for the cameras. It's like, what? Watch out for the cameras? This sounds like some shady shit. And then she says, I'm not telling you what to do. This ain't me telling you, but I'm just saying. Now that shit is shady as fuck. Now, I could have went ahead and followed that advice, just keyed the shit in, and possibly been in deep shit or caught on the camera. But I said, nah, I'll just go ahead and report the discrepancy to the main boss and then CC my boss and just let them know and do it the right way and just let them know, hey, I had a short drawer 80 cents. That's not really a firing offense. They don't want you to be short, but, especially with me just coming on, it'll probably, it's many employees that have been short before, and it was only 80 cents, so they can prove, based on what happened, they know what happened, and they know it was a mistake, and they're gonna go in and correct it. But if I had to follow the black woman's advice, just keyed in 80 cents, my ass might be grass by now. And I was thinking to myself, man, how many brothers out here, right, that have possibly been fired from their job, right, or killed in these streets, right, or locked up in some of these prisons, right, because they listened to the advice of a black female. Huh? How many brothers, man, because they give horrible advice. And then, excuse me, if you turn around and say, oh, shit, well, they'll laugh at you like, oh, shit, you got fired again. Like, bitch, I'm fired because I did what you told me to do. I didn't tell you to do that. I just said if I was you, bitch, shut the fuck up. Please, shut the fuck up. I had a dream where I told this fat black woman, I told her to get the fuck out of here, man. I just cursed her out. I said, get the fuck out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? I said, get the fuck out of here, man. They give horrible advice. And I see why a lot of actors and shit, when they get to a certain level, they just stayed outside the race, bro. They will get you fired, bro. They will get you fucked up, bro. And then laugh at you for being fucked up. I'm like, man, and she was like, yeah, you can keep, and you can tell she didn't did that shit before. But ain't no guarantee I'm going to get away with it. There's no guarantee I'm going to get away with it because she got away with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a crazy type thing, man. They will give out that type of advice, bro. And it's a painful shame, man. I'm wondering how many brothers thought I heard something downstairs. I wonder how many brothers actually got caught up because for the past 40 or 50 years, there hasn't been a male presence in the black household as a whole. Now, it has been some men in the black household, but as a whole, for the past, since the 70s, there hasn't been a strong male, image or standing in the black household for about 40 or 50 years. And the black men who are in the house are pretty much thugs who depend on the women to house them, or very weak men. I mean, they may be college graduates, or they may be fraternity guys who are very weak men who allow women to run the household even though they own the home. So the black men has been, not, we haven't been strong for the past 40 or 50 years, put it that way, especially in the terms of family. And men, and not to say men as a whole, especially in the Western world, black, white, yellow, brown, have all been weakened by feminism. I repeat, men of every race have been weakened by feminism. But again, like I've said before in many of my videos, if the rest of the world primarily ran by the white race, if they catch a cold, the black race catches pneumonia. So whatever is bad for them is usually twice as worse for us, considering we're lower on the socioeconomic ladder. But my thing is, man, just by hearing her say that, I'm like, how many brothers? I was thinking, because I went ahead and did what was right, but I was thinking, how many brothers out here got fucked up or made a bad choice because of what a black woman told them, and then when they get fucked up, that same black woman who told them to do that stupid shit was not there to support them through the result, the payback, the result, the punishment they had to face for that fucked up choice. That same black woman who told him to do that shit is not there to help him get through that punishment that was administered out because he made the wrong choice, man. And it's like it's a damn shame. And then I started thinking about all the brothers who are pretty much on top in different categories. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of these celebrities, I think, are federal agents. But just saying, what if they're not? In terms of Sugar Shane Mosley, he's a Hall of Fame, or he probably will be in the Hall of Fame. In terms of boxing, he's a famous boxer who was a great boxer. He's older now. He probably just retired, but he was a great boxer back in the day. He had a long reign at the top. He fought Floyd Mayweather Jr. And his wife, I think, is Asian. He's a celebrity. And speaking of Floyd Mayweather Jr., the guy that Sugar Shane Mosley fought, Sugar Shane Mosley is going to be a Hall of Famer. Of course, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is going to be a Hall of Famer. And I think his current wife is of another race. He has a son that's part Filipino or something like that. Now, I know at one point he was with a black woman, but I don't think he's with one now. So I just kept running through my mind, especially a lot of the celebrities, Taye Diggs and Lawrence Fishburne and Cuba Gooding. A lot of these brothers are not with black women, and just actors, athletes. Tiger Woods, not with a black woman. Kobe Bryant, not with a black woman. He spent 20 years in the NBA, very long tenure in the NBA, very successful career, one of the all-time greats. wasn't with a black woman. And then, despite all his scandals, still, you can't take that legacy away. Tiger Woods, I mentioned him before, wasn't with a black woman. So you want to criticize these brothers, but at the same time, these legendary figures took a different turn and they had long careers, man. Clarence Thomas, appointed to the Supreme Court, wasn't with a black woman. I think during the time of him being appointed, he was with a white chick. And by no means am I saying, am I telling anyone what to do? Just a disclaimer. Now, I'm not telling anyone who to date or what to do. But at the same time, you think about all these legends who were either in the Supreme Court or famous athletes or politicians or actors, and the ones who had the longest careers or the longest tenure, like Tiger Woods. He's been doing golf for a very long time. He's been at the top for a very long time. You see that you look at the choices that they pick in terms of women. I heard Dwayne Wade had some pool party. I think it was Dwayne Wade, or if I'm wrong, please correct me. But it was some famous basketball star. I want to say it was Dwayne Wade. I want to say a few years ago when his team won the championships. I'm not sure if he was with Cleveland at that time, but when they won the championships, he went out on his yacht and he didn't have any black women on his yacht, and black women criticized him because on his yacht you could see there was no black women. He had a lot of different various races, but no black women. He is a legendary basketball star. You start to look at this shit like that, and it's like, man, you start to think, well, because at first being a kid, especially if you're in a household where there's more than one black woman, you're taught to believe that these guys are Uncle Tom, they're sellouts, blah blah blah, they're the worst of the worst. But looking in hindsight and seeing what I'm seeing at my age, 40, just my day to day. Now I'm no star or nothing like that, not at all. I'm a day to day working class man. But seeing what I see from a working class man standpoint, the black woman I'm running into that can fuck you up at any moment, that try to fuck you up almost every day, even if you're not living with one, right? And then seeing the choices that these brothers made in terms of who they decided to marry and get with, and seeing their careers. I'm not saying everybody's going to become a Kobe Bryant or everyone's going to become a Supreme Court justice or appointee to the Supreme Court like Clarence Thomas, or everyone's going to be a Tiger Woods or so on and so forth. But I'm just saying, it seems like sometimes when brothers do date outside, those brothers can keep a long-standing run. They can maintain what they have for a long period of time. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. Looking at these brothers is the actors and the politicians, they having a long time tenure, but they're with another race. I don't know. Now I'm not saying there are some brothers that are not doing well with black women, but what I am saying is for the regular brothers and even for the brothers who are famous, as the situation deteriorates in terms of the relations get harder, or as the how should I put it, the relationship bond between the black woman and the black female tend to get more fragile or more agitated, where the black woman seems to be getting more and more angry and angry. Is it a good idea to have that type of anger in your corner just because she's the same color as you or the same race? Man, we got to think about that, man. Is that, I mean, because we're not talking about 40 years ago when the relations were better between black men and black women. We're talking about now, 2018, or even the past 20 years. And things aren't getting better, they're getting worse. And black men finally have an outlet to speak out. So, what's the situation? What's best for black men as a whole? I mean, I see a lot of successful brothers the ones who keep longevity or long tenured success are the ones who pretty much weigh their options, man. Because you tell me you don't know a brother who just totally got fucked up by listening to another black woman. A lot of these dudes just joining gangs and shit like that are doing that shit because the young black chick, they want to impress the young black chicks they're going to school with. Now, if they thought about, okay, maybe we can date outside the race, because young black boys don't think about dating outside of the race. They're the only person they have to look up to is that black woman that's in the household. There's no other men in the household. Even if he wanted to date outside, his black mother wouldn't let the other girl in the home. So he doesn't have any choice. So he has to try to entertain this bullshit. So he has to try to impress young black girls who have the same mentality as his mother. So, that's why some of these guys want to join gangs and sell that shit to impress other black females. Black females love dudes that do that shit. That's just the truth. They love dudes who sell that shit, who gang bang and all that shit. I think one of the reasons why they love males like that is because they can control those males. Because a thug coming out of prison after he done gang banged and sold that shit, and the white man slapped him down, gave him 10 to 15 years. Now he's on parole, i.e. probation. He did all that crazy shit when he was 17 and 18. Now he's 35. So he lives in the halfway house. Now he's living with a black female. Now, she may not own the home, but her name's on a lease. If she's renting, her name's on a lease. Because a lot of black females ain't going to be able to own a home because their credit is fucked up, right? So, but whether she owns the home or she's renting, her name is on a lease, not his. So, having that thug live with her, she can get dick down, but she can still do anything she wants. When she gets tired of him, she can go to the club with her titties out. And not just the cleavage showing. They have black females, they have these new outfits where the titties are literally out. Like the Little Kim shit. Like you can really see the titties out. Like they walking around in their house. They had a Facebook video where it was a parody video, I think, where the girl was going to go out and the guy would sleep on the couch. And she was going to go out with her titties out. She was going to go to the club and you can see the titties. See them, the nipple, the breast, the whole tit out. It was this outfit that has the titties out. Not even like the Little Kim where she had the titties out, but she had the nipples covered. It's an outfit with the titties just out, no nipple covered. Like you're just begging to be raped. And you might be raped by, and not the guys, you might be raped by the bull daggers, right? The diesel dykes. Which we don't talk about that, but diesel dykes rape females too, right? Especially in prison all the time. But, black females are taught to look out for black men in terms of rape. But the diesel dykes are probably raping more than the black men, right? So, my point is, you got these females, you got these gangster thugs who have no say. Because a black woman knows if she's with a real black alpha male, he owns the home, he controls the wealth, He can say, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? No, change. You ain't gonna wear. You ain't gonna walk out with that whole shit. Change. Go upstairs and change." They don't want any black man having any authority over them. I saw this video where the black policeman came to this female's house because I guess he was called because the daughter wanted to get her stuff out of this black woman's home, and the black woman wouldn't let her daughter get her stuff because the daughter just wanted to get her stuff and leave. She didn't even want to even be in the house with her own mother. Black woman, your own daughters can't stand you. First it was your sons, now your own daughters can't stand you, right? So the black policeman put his foot in the door. And she said, "Motherfucker can't put his foot in my door. That's why I can't stand black people. He gonna put his foot in my door." Now, she was lucky that was a weak black male officer. Because if that was me, I would say, "Listen, ma'am, you cannot curse at me. Now, we're out here because of you. Because you can't deal with your daughter. Now that I'm out here, you're not going to waste my time telling me to go. You're going to back away from the door. I'm not going to have to put my foot in the door. You're going to back away from the door. So we're going to let your daughter come in, get her stuff, and leave. If you interfere with this process, you will be arrested." But she lucky she ran into a weak black male police officer, and he let her talk any way she wanted to him. And she talked her daughter into walking away, and then the officers had to leave. But she disrespected that brother, man. Called him all type of names to his face. The average black man, I can't talk to a police officer like that. But they'll let a black woman talk to a black male police officer like that. Because she was mad because a black male was able to tell her what to do in her own house. She hated that shit. She hated that shit. See, black females hate black men telling them what to do. Even black men who don't even have anything to do with them. Even black men who are like officers, black men who are judges, they don't want any, no matter how poor she is, she don't want any black man telling her what to do. Now, that house she was in probably was getting paid for through social services. It probably was some welfare shit. But it was state owned, but she still doesn't want a black man telling her what to do, even if he's a police officer. She said, so what she said? She said, because he got a badge, he think he could tell me what to do. He could put his foot in my duck. And she wanted to hit him so bad, but she know he was a police officer, and if she did that, she'd be automatically arrested. But she should have been arrested for the way she was talking, speaking to him. Because he wasn't out there for his health. He was out there because he was summoned because she wouldn't let her daughter in the house to get her stuff. All her daughter wanted to do was come in the house, get her stuff, and leave. She had a place to go. She probably was some dude or whatever. And she wouldn't let the daughter come in her house. She's talking about, "Baby, listen to your mama. Go ahead and leave. Me and you will talk about this later. We can talk about family business because they don't care about me." No, they don't got to care about you. And now she want to be the motherly type because the officer had his foot in her door. Because, see, I would have arrested her ass. I would say, "Hey, look, I'm not even going to put my foot in the door. You back away from the door. I'm going to let your daughter in to get her stuff. If you interfere with that, you can be arrested. Because we're out here because we were summoned to come out here. We're not out here because we want to be here. We were called. Because we can be on a more important call right now." And that's the thing. But they'll let more black women get away with talking to officers like that, as long as it's a black officer. Because a white officer ain't going to tell you. He's going to slam it to the floor. But they'll let her talk to another black officer like that. They'll get a pass to do that because, you know, that destabilizes the black community. As long as she can pound on black boys and black men, she gets a pass. But she can't do that in any other race. Because I've seen many videos where black women tried to mouth off at white officers, and white officers have twisted their arm, punched them in the face, pepper sprayed them, slammed them on the ground, even in some cases hung them in the cell, and nothing was done to those officers. So just something to keep in mind, man. But didn't want to go off on a tangent, but yeah, black women will get you fired, bro. They will get you fired and laugh about the fact that you lost your job. Black women will get you fired, bro. I'm just saying, it's just something to think about. It's something to reflect on. I wouldn't take their advice. I will be careful not to take your mama's advice, especially if you're at a certain age and you're a black man with a black mother and it's about money. Hell no. But just something to consider. But this is your boy, the author. I hope y'all are taking care of yourself. And I'm out.